Well, welcome back, everyone. It's that time. Time to talk about an iron golem farm, which we've got here. I've put it pretty far away from my other builds because I don't want the doors over there affecting anything. Let's take a farther view from it. It's right over here. Basically, the thing is that I was determining I had to do this. You know, everyone does one of these eventually, right? But when I was looking it up, there's basically not many tutorials for doing iron golem farms out of the spawn chunks. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do a non-spawn chunk farm. And the reason for that is because everyone always wants to, to have the best farm. And have the best farm, you have to be in the spawn chunks. You can be like, oh, yes, I've got myself a 20,000 per hour iron farm, or a 10,000 or whatever, which is just completely overkill in my opinion. There's no way you'd ever use even 20,000 iron unless you made like 100 beacons. So, and that's just 1 hour. So we're going to discuss here how to do it anywhere because you might not want to build such a massive one. You may not want one in your spawn chunks because you already have other buildings there. Or even if you could find space for it, you have other doors. So this one currently right here is at 80 iron per hour. And I've put up here just a little thing underneath so it looks a little better. I'm not sure how well that went, but I wanted to make a floating island look. But I'm going to build out a second part of it, so it's a 160 iron per hour, and I would recommend if you really wanted to, you could make this 400 iron per hour. So if we go down here and look, oh, we're getting some iron, and I just got that basically while building it, not too much time. I think I waited for one spawn there to start the video, but that was about it. So the first thing we need to do is explain how villages work, and to do that, I'm going to fly away from this thing so I don't interfere with it, because these are hard to deal with. The villages is the key part to make it work. Because an iron golem only spawns under specific conditions and inside a village. So to get a village, you need two things. One, you need a valid house, which we'll talk about in a second here. And second, you need a villager. I think we can do this. We place this guy here. So now we've got our villager, and he can see this door. And because he sees this door, well, this isn't a village because this isn't a valid house yet. Actually, it might be. To make it a valid house, there has to be like a difference in light level across the different sides. I don't know exactly how it works, but I know that if you like place a block, let me up here, on top of the house, the door, and you place like one on the other side, then we do have a valid house. Basically, anytime you do design, since you're going to have blocks around the door, you're going to have a valid house. And you can look up on Google and go to Wikipedia to find the exact specifications. But it's not too much to worry about. Let's just have a door in the open. As long as you have some blocks around it, you're going to end up having a valid house. So the key things to get iron golem spawns, you need a valid village, which has at least 10 of these guys here, 10 villagers, and at least 21 doors. And they spawn in a cuboid, a 16 by 16 by 6 cuboid around the center of the village. So the center of the village is the northwest corner of the block that the door is on. But if you have multiple doors, say one here, then the center of the village is going to become the centroid location, which is somewhere right around here. But you can do some tricky things. For instance, there's some doors, I think. Do I have any doors? I actually don't think I have any doors in any of those. So there's no doors to interfere over there. But so if I like went this way, and I place another door, say here, and I did something like this to make it a valid house, I think that makes it a valid house, then the centroid is going to be here. Now let's say we fly this way, and I'm not going to do this out exactly, I'm just going to explain it. We go like 66 at least blocks, or over the 64, which I think we're probably at. We place this here. Since this is more than 64 blocks from the center of the valid village over there, this makes it a new village, assuming we have a villager. So let's make a new villager over here, because you need a villager as well for a village. And now we have two villages. What we can do is we can go halfway and put this door, say, here. And this door is closer to this village's center, which is here, than the center of that village. So this joins up with this village, and the center now moves to somewhere around here. And then we can move a little farther. And this door is closer to that center of the village than that center of that village. And now the center moves to, say, here. And then you can actually break this, and you can break this. And now you've got the center of the village here, and you can keep going halfway as a result. So I can put this like here, and it's closer to the center of the village that was here than the center of that village from those two doors. And then we break this, and the center is moved to here. And you can keep doing that, basically. And you can go up to halfway each time. As long as it's closer to this center than that center, you're good. And the trick is, you can get all the way to like right here. And then you can actually do this. And that block is closer to this center than to this center over here. And then we can go over here, we can go break this door. And now these two doors are different villages. And that's how they do the crazy giant mob farms, where basically they get a spawn. So an iron goblin spawns every 6 minutes on average in any village with over 21 doors and 10 villagers. But you can get like each door is a different village basically, and so you can get like up to 64 villages in a very small location. But it has to be in the spawn chunks, because if, for instance, we go take our nifty villager destructor. Well, this guy's not important anymore. But let's say this guy dies, or doesn't even need to die. He just reloads. Like if we leave the area and we come back, he's going to reload. Because he's not in the spawn chunks here, he's going to disappear and then reappear. And as a result, when he shows back up, he's going to look at these doors and be like, oh yes, this is the village. And all of the doors are going to become a single village. So the only way to get the system to stay is to be in the spawn chunks where everything is consistently loaded at all times. And I think there's some things you have to do to make sure the mobs don't go inactive. But that's why it doesn't work out anywhere else in your world. So we don't actually want to have to worry about that constraint, so we're just going to deal with a single village. So we can get rid of this guy here. And let's store that here. So the other thing you can do is you can have your villages separated enough like this, so that they act as separate villages and the doors from one don't combine with the doors for the other. And yeah, you only get one village that way per block, so it's nowhere near as efficient as the giant ones that you can look up anywhere else. But these are efficient enough. I mean, you don't need that much iron. 10,000 an hour is way too much. Even you can get this to 400, as I'm going to explain today, which is very sufficient in iron per hour. So we're going to build one here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go at least 64. I'll probably go 70 or something blocks away from this and start building another one. So I'm going to do that. If we look, let me go up here. F3, our X is changing, and here it's 312 at the edge of this one. So I'm going to go over to like 382 and then start building that way. All right, so we've gotten that. If you'll remember, that was at 312 coordinates, and if we look at the X coordinate on this boundary here, it's at 382, which is 70 away, and I think we only need to do 64, so that's enough, but I like going just a little extra. So here what I've done is I've built out a 20 by 20, and I'm going to probably remove this or replace it with some nice columns at some point too. But basically, just need to fill this in. The reason we want a 20 by 20 is, as I said, the golems will spawn in a 16 by 16 by 6 cuboid region from the center of the area. However, that center, I believe, is not a block. It's like an actual corner. And since they're too wide, we want to go a little bit farther so that we make sure we don't glitch them in the blocks or anything, and we give them all the spawning space they need. So I'm going to build a 20 by 20 here so that the inside is 18 by 18, and we're going to have 2 levels that they can spawn on, because you can fit the height of the mob into 2 different spawning pads, basically, which will increase the rate of spawn that we get. Not too much, actually. 1 pad isn't that much more inefficient than 2, because I believe when the game decides to try to spawn a golem, it tries 10 times. And if it fails all 10, then it won't spawn 1, but the chance of it failing all 10 are pretty minimal. So I'm going to finish this up right here, and I'm going to build up the walls 3 high, like that, and we'll be right back. Alright, that is complete. I ended up building this out as well in the same pattern I used vertically, and I moved this 1 block over, so originally the snow was here and down on this level, so that it would line up properly. And actually, I think that reminds me, I didn't actually extend it on this side, even though I took 1 level off. So let's just do that really quickly here. So basically, what we need to do next is we need to start putting in the doors, because we need to make this spawning location. Well, we need the center to be in the middle of this so that all of our golems spawn where we want them to. And we also need to get enough doors. So as I mentioned earlier, in order to spawn a golem, you need 2 conditions inside your village. You need at least 10 villagers, and you need at least 21 doors. The villager is going to be our limiting factor, because just in case a zombie gets in somehow and kills some of your villagers. Yeah, you want them to be able to replenish by breeding, and you need you get 0.35 villagers per door. So we need 29 doors in order to have 10 villagers be able to be bred. So as a result, we're going to go overkill and do at least 29 doors, and what I'm going to do here is actually 48, just because that can give us 16 villagers. So what we're going to do is we're going to place 6 doors, 6 pieces of snow, or whatever block you choose to use, and then 6 more doors. And we're going to do that all the way around. The snow is where there's going to be the villagers are going to be kept outside, and we need the pattern to be symmetric so that the centroid of all the doors, and therefore the center of the village, that was 5, is in the center of this cube. It's not a cube, rectangular prism. So basically, we just need to complete this pattern, and then we need to actually put the water stream in where they will fall. So the water stream is slightly tricky. It's not too bad though, if you've used water before in any mechanics. So typically, let's do a time set day. Typically, if you just place a block of water, it's going to flow 8, as you know. Since this is 18 by 18, it would be kind of nice if the water flowed 9 blocks. So in order to do that, I'm going to simply place the water 1 higher, and it spreads out like that, as you can see, and as a result, it spreads 8 from these corner blocks here, or these side blocks. So it goes a little bit farther. So we're going to place water here on the corners, like so they extend 1 farther than they would if we just placed them on the ground. And you'll see they connect up right here in the middle. This one ends at this intersection, and this one ends there as well. Then we're going to, starting at the 3rd block from the wall, fill it all the way up with water. This will not go all the way to the middle, because we want to leave a little hole in the center. So we don't want these to connect, so we don't want these 9 length and start them from here. We only want them 8 length. So we're going to do that on all 4 sides, which is easy, always starting from the 3rd block and going to the 3rd block right there. And just continue that all around. Perfect. And now we're left with this 2x2 hole in the middle, and all of the streams, no matter where you end up in here, you're going to get pushed to it. And we can knock this out, and this is where our golems will fall. Next, we need to create the 2nd spawning pad. So we're going to do that by placing, how do I get this here? Them at this height. So we want a 4 tall gap here between the spawning pad below and the spawning pad above. So we're going to fill this out, and this one's only going to be an 18 by 18 currently, because that's what the inside is, and we will build walls around it. But let me finish that up, and then we'll be right back. Perfect, and now we just need to fill in the walls here. We completed our 18 by 18, and we only need to build these 2 high, because we just need the golems to not be able to jump out. But I'm going to do it 3 high just for looks. I'm going to do 2 of snow here. We're going to finish this up, and then basically, and you got to fill in these gaps here as well. I'm going to just do 2 of snow, and then I'm going to do a little pattern on top. Let's just finish up one side here with glowstone, and then the quartz. So I'm going to go like this, 4, and then 1, 2, and then 4. And I'm going to do that along every side. And then we can, after this, well, let me get the water streams in here. We can place all of these, and I got to finish one side. But we can get the water in an identical fashion to below. And then we're basically set up. So we can place 1 water here, 1 here, 1 here, and then we'll have to add the villagers, I should say. That's a very important part of a village, is having your villagers. So with the doors we have, we can get up to 16. They won't breed automatically, I found, unless you trade with them. which I believe is a very known function in villagers in the current version of Minecraft at 1.13. So I'm going to finish this wall here in a second. But the way I'm going to build these villager units, first I'm going to take out these 4, and I'm going to put glowstone, so that we make sure that there's light level enough where the villagers are standing so that no zombies spawn and kill everybody. Then we're going to build out this 6 region, and I'm going to build it out 5 blocks. That's 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. We can line this on the side here, and I'm going to make sure they have walls so that they can't escape and nothing else can get in. Put some glass. I'm going to put some glass on top. I'm going to leave a little bit of a hole at the moment so that I can actually spawn them, and then I'll just put some stairs around the outside so it looks a little nicer. The quartz works pretty well with the snow, I find, and the glowstone. So I'm going to place 2 of them in here. Oh, nitwits. So obviously you can't trade with nitwits, so I can't get these guys to spawn since I use this villager spawn egg, or I can get them to breed. But what I'm going to just do is I'm going to place 2, 3, 2, and 3 right now. I did test it though, and I can get them to breed if I trade with them, and they aren't with nitwits. So I'm just going to build these out, and I'm going to place the 10 villagers around the 4 sites here, and then we'll talk about what comes next. Oh, I think these guys bred instantly. I did not place that little baby in there. Sometimes you can place a baby accidentally, depending on how you click. You click on like the lower side of the block, I think. But I definitely didn't place that. So we've got 8 at the moment, and we just got to finish 1 more of these. I do recall now, actually, why I put that pattern on top. It was so that I got some glowstone to light up the snow, so that the top of it could not spawn the mobs as well, rather than just putting half slabs in order to cover everything and make it impossible. So let's just build out the last one here, since I started recording, and see where that gets us. So basically, we've got all these villagers here now, and the iron golem should be able to spawn. We simply just have to make the killing trap at the bottom, which isn't too hard. So they don't take drowning damage, and iron golems also don't take falling damage. So the key is to burn them or crush them. You can make a crusher as well, but I'll stick with a lava trap at the moment. So let's just put 3 guys in here. We actually only need 2 because we bred 1, but that should be doing it right now. So I can go to the bottom here and basically have them fall down a tube. We can build 1 up and have lava at the bottom. So I'm going to build that, and I will be right back. Alright, that should do it. So we just have to place the lava here. I've got the signs to hold it up. And so we can snag in here, but the golems can't, and I'm going to close it off anyways. And that's basically it, actually. We're done now, so they'll fall down. They're 3 blocks tall, or at least more than 2 point something, so they'll burn. They will then die in the hoppers here, and then transport into this chest. We have the exact same setup over there. And they'll drop an average of 4 iron and 1 poppy, and they spawn at an average of once every 6 minutes. We've got our 2 spawning layers, so we'd have to wait a bit here to actually see 1 spawn, but it should work now. So the next thing you want to do is you want to build more of these like we have over there. So you can build 1 vertically. So if we go get our quartz again, I believe we want these type of quartz because I got rid of them all, and we need a glowstone. So the pattern I'm going to use here is I'm just going to put a chisel on either side of a glowstone, and then do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chisel, glowstone, chisel, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the pillar, and keep going all the way up. The key. Oh, did I see one? Or is my mind playing tricks on me? I think my mind was playing tricks on me. But basically, we need to be a minimum of about 70 blocks, 64 blocks, I think. But above it. But because the centroid is like a 6 tall unit, we want to go 70. And then the villages will not interact. So let's do that, and let's get at least 70. I think over here I did 72. Let's actually check. So the height of this is at 71. And if we fly to the top, and unfortunately there's no fast way of flying in creative upwards. I made a little floating island here thing. But at the top, it's 143. So that's 72 blocks. So it's at least 70, and so we're good, and they don't interact at all. So basically, I'm just going to build these pillars up, And then you're going to just want to build the exact same thing on top as down here. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll talk about expanding this and how to get 10 of these things into a fairly small region. There we go, guys. We just got one. He just spawned. Perfect timing. So he's going to fall down. He spawned at the top level. And then, as you can see, he dies, as we hope. They actually have a ton of health, so this is going to take a moment here, even though I think he's in the lava, he's not taking fire tech damage. And there we go, we got 5 iron and no poppies, because the iron ranges from 3 to 5, and the poppies from 0 to 2. So I'm almost done building this up, and we'll be right back. But now we know that the system works here, we just saw one happen, and yeah, we'll be right back. I'm just putting on the finishing touches here. I'm getting some weird glitches, where it just is like lighting up 2 blocks there. That's kind of funny. If I play something, I'm sure it will update. Yeah. It's still kind of funny, though. What happens if I break this? Oh, it does the same thing. Interesting. So I'm just going to finish right here quickly. Connecting these all the way. But basically, we're done here. And I'm going to lose track. I'm not going to finish this. I can't talk and count at the same time. But so basically, right here, we've got 4 of these, as you can see. And that's producing about 160, I believe, iron per hour, which is a fair amount. And just while building that top one, which took me like 10, 15 minutes, we got 15. So we got at least 3 to 5 somewhere in there. This is a 6th or a 4th, somewhere in that range. And, oh, there's 2. Wow. Oh, yeah, I think we probably got one from the top village as well there. So that was perfect. Yeah, that one dropped 3 iron. Wow, we haven't not gotten many poppies. Not many at all. And there we go. There was 2 poppies right there. So you might want more than that. So let's talk about how you would use multiple of these. And you could do cool looks like that. You can change however you want. What I would do is I'd probably take these and put them down at like Y30, Y20 maybe. And then have this one right about a little above the height of this. You might even be able to get 3 levels if you put one down on the ground. But just considering 2 levels, you should be able to do them in a star basically. So you have one in the middle, one out this way, one out this way, one over here, one over here. Yeah, I'll just move that. And then you can have one up there maybe. And that's an easy way you can get 10. And actually, yeah, we can consider 15 actually. So 600 iron per minute per hour, which is 10 iron per minute, which is pretty good. If you put one of them down the ground, because you could put one basically at bedrock, one here and one up there. And if you are standing right about at this level right there, once I finish all these, you're standing at this level, you're pretty much within range to activate all of them. So if this is like the center of your base, you should be able to activate all of these, and you can get up to about 600 iron per hour. That might be overkill, so you might only want 1, 2, you might just want this, you might want to just make the star, not have a 3rd level. It's really up to you, but this is a pretty simple method, which is why I'm showing it here. It's not like the super heavy-duty ones where you get basically infinite amount of iron, more than you could ever need. It's just easy to set up and gets you quite a bit of iron and does not have to be anywhere specific like spawn chunks. The only thing is there can't be a door within 64 blocks of any one of these spawning locations. But that should do it. Pretty easy to build. Not much goes into it. There, got one dying right there. There might be 2 even. It's hard to tell. Yeah, there's probably just 1. But yeah, it looks great too. I kind of like the way I connected this. I did not come up with this. I'm pretty sure this was inspired. I haven't watched anything recently, but I feel like years ago I watched Doc M do something that was probably exactly like this, let's be honest. I feel like he had some connection at the bottom and he funneled all them together. I don't remember. Maybe hoppers weren't out at that point. I have no idea. Yeah, that's probably it. Hoppers probably didn't exist at that point. So you couldn't just kill them and collect it. That was a long time ago. But yeah, so I didn't come up with this. I'm just more here to explain how and why it works, so you can do whatever variation you want on it. I might build a couple more of these for a screenshot, and if so, I'll put in a clip here where I've built more. But if not, that should do it for today. It's a very big build in addition to my world here. Makes these other buildings that looked huge, like those are some big farms. They get a double chest of carrots in like a few hours. Makes them look small. So yeah, that's an iron farm. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. All right, and we've got it here. I've got all 10 set up, or all 5 towers. Let's see what it looks like at nighttime. midnight. I like the lighting. I got all these little floating island type things here. So it works pretty well. One thing to note, I actually built this one 8 blocks higher than I needed to because I said it was 72 blocks from the top to the bottom instead of from the top to the top. So it's actually 64 blocks from the top to the bottom. So if we check this level here real quick, we're at 71. And if we fly all the way up, we'll be at 135 at the level of the bottom, which is what we need. The bottom to be at least 64 from the top. So I just lowered this one the 8 blocks compared to what you saw earlier. I also added some glass viewing areas on the bottom ones so you can like look in the water stream. And yeah, so this generates about, I believe it's oh, whoops, sorry, messenger going off, but this generates 400 per hour, 400 iron. And as you can see, this one's collecting quite a lot. The other ones are a little bit less because I didn't build them until just now. But yeah, so 400 per hour, it's not bad. Your base is somewhere around the middle here. You're activating all of them. And yeah, you could put another level even lower down in the ground if you wanted as well. You might need to lift these up a few blocks so you don't hit bedrock, but it works pretty well. The golems from here just fall down to the bottom and die from the lava damage. But yeah, so that's the simple iron golem farm that doesn't produce a ridiculous amount of iron, but enough for anyone's real needs. So leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let me know any other projects you'd like to see in this world or my Let's Play worlds, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.